Hey, so coming up we've got 5 shapes of the pentatonic and 1 lick for each shape. So if you do like this lesson, please do consider subscribing, hitting that bell button and visiting all the social stuff, link below. Drop a comment with things you would like to see, and obviously go to the website, which is dansguitar.com, for the tab and jam along with a jamming track at the end of this video. The small version, if you want the actual live massive version, then you've got to go to Patreon, but that's all linked below. So there you go, here are the licks. So there we are, number 1 then. So we start with, which is a nice little lick in itself, and you've got the hammer on from 10 to 12, and then 10 on the 3rd string, 12 on the 4th string, and then a Hendrix bend, as I like to call them, which is that 12th fret 3rd string, and then 10th fret on the 3rd string as well, obviously, nearly got that wrong. And then 12, 10, 12, you can hammer on, pull off, or pick it. Up to you on that one. Then you end up in the next bar. Slide that out if you want to, if you've got enough time, but if you're panicking about the next bit, which is coming up, which is 30-second notes, although the tempo is quite slow, so that helps out massively. We've got this section where we're going... Okay, so this is not that hard when you think about the fact that it's actually slow-ish, but it is quite tricky if you're not used to this sort of pattern. So basically what you're doing is you're coming down in 4s. So, and then you're starting from the next note in the pentatonic as if you were playing it linear. Okay, and then that's basically 4 notes again. Look at the tab for this as well. Then you've got, and then... And that is your lick number 1. On to lick 2. Okay, same as, so this is using shape 2. You should see the shape on screen as well, but for those that didn't know it, it's obviously there for you to learn. So this is shape 2, and you'll see the shape on screen as well as the lick coming up. But a nice lick, nice way to use this one and just form your way through it. But we've got hammer on, if you want to, you can pick it, from 12 to 15 on that 4th string, and then you're coming through like kind of an arpeggio, through from the 15 onto the 14 3rd string, and then 13 on the 2nd string. So then it's 15 on that 2nd string, and then you've got 14 3rd, 13 on the 2nd again. And that's your next part, which is another section. So that's 13, 15 on the 2nd, 13, 15 1st, 15 2nd, and then 13 1st with a bend, sequence of bends. And that's your last part, which is going to be 15th fret 1st string, bend, full tone, bend, bend up, let down to the 13 on that same string, 15 on the 2nd string, and then a very quick pre-note hammer on from the 13 to the 15. So you have your bend from the 17th fret of that 3rd string. Okay, and then as you come down the pentatonic, you're almost coming straight through shape 3. So you've got... Okay, so that's straightforward enough. It's awkward with the fingers, this one, so you're just going to have to try and find a way to make it work. But you've got your bend up, letting it back down, or you can just bring it back down without hearing it. And then you've got the 17, 14 on the same string, 17, 15 D string, 17, 15, 17 on the A string, and then 15, 17 on the D string again. Then you've got a bend on the 18th fret, second string, 15 on the first, 18, 15 second, a tiny little bend, which should be a tone really, but it doesn't really matter because you don't get a lot of time to hear it. So 17th fret bend on the third string, that is, so the G, and then you've got 15, 18, 15 on the B, so the second string. So that is lick number 3. So double stop with this one, which is you can slide into it. A nice way to use some of these shapes. So don't be afraid to use double stops because they do help flavour things up nicely. But this one, so we've got the 7 and the 8 at the same time to create that double stop. So as I say, slide into it if you want to. It does add with the dynamic. And you do that 3 times, and then you keep the second finger where it is, and then you go to 6 and 7. So same thing again, 3 on each, then it's 2 times on each. Before we go into the bend of 8th fret, bringing your first finger onto the first string, 5th fret, for 2 strikes of that, do that again. And then we've got a faster section of, which is basically the 8. I think you might have to pull this one off, not unless you shred your way through it, but you've got 8 pull off to the 5, and then it's the 8 on the second string, going back to the 5 on the first. So that's the lick, basically that. In itself, quite a nice lick, but to repeat it, a great one to get used to. Anyway, so we've got 1, 2, and then the third time you're coming all the way down from 8 pull off to 5, 8 pull off to the 6, or pick it, it's up to you, and then it's 7 on the third, 8, no it's not, 6 on the second, and then 8 on that second string as well. You can bend out of that if you want to, but that is entirely up to you. Okay, this one is, if you had a look at Lick Friday week 401, you'll see that we're using shape 5 of the pentatonics, and this one is a similar one because we're using that bend at the beginning on the last half of that shape, but obviously we can't use the same lick. Well, I could do, but I'm not going to. So it's that bend again, so this time 10th fret, bend in full tone, so you're reaching the pitch of the 12th fret. So, and then you've got a 6-tuplet run down through the shape, starting on the 8th fret of the second string, coming down that far onto that 10th fret there, the root note of the D. So slowly you've got your 8, 10, 7, 10, 7, 10, 8, 10, 8, 10, and then to the A string, 8, 10, 8. So, and then the last section of this, or the last bar, you've got your 10 bend up, let down, and then off to the 7, and then it's the 10 on the 4th string. So, oh, that was close, wasn't it? So it's basically that. So you're bending the full tone up, letting it down, 7th fret, and then 10th fret on that 4th string, the D string. You do that twice. Now that's the hard part of this, I find, is actually bending that 10th fret of full tone. I'm pulling it down just because it's hard to push it that far. Well, you could do, there you go. Up to you what you do with it, but I pull it down rather than push up. So as long as you get a tone, that is all good. There you are. Back to me. Well, there you have it. So that was it. 5 licks, all done. 5 different shapes, so it gives you an idea if you're not used to the other shapes other than shape 1, because that's kind of what us guitarists seem to get stuck in, shape 1, shape 2, and then part of shape 5 on that lower register. It gives you an idea of where you can go. Maybe I'll do some more of these videos on this. If you do want me to, please drop a comment below. That would be great. And thanks for watching this far. If you have done so, then awesome. Please do consider liking, sharing, subscribing, hitting that bell button, and visiting the social media. Sharing this video on your social media would be helpful as well. And yeah, that's it really. So visit the website, Patreon page, and the jamming track is coming up in just a second for you guys to use. Only the small version, but the large version is linked below on the Patreon page. So that is all I need to say. There we go. Take care, everyone. I'll see you soon.